actually this time yesterday, about a 30-minute speech in Nashville, Tennessee, where among other things she talked about extending Medicaid to some 200,000 or so residents here in the volunteer state. Bernie Sanders hoping to gain ground tomorrow on Super Tuesday, while his Democratic rival there, Hillary Clinton, you just saw, looking to expand her lead nationally as well today. Clinton campaigning in Massachusetts, also campaigning in Virginia as well, while her husband, former President Bill Clinton, stuffing for her in Texas. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders rallying voters in Minnesota. He will also be in Massachusetts. And we have our team of reporters and anchors fanned out, following the candidates on the campaign trail. MSNBC political correspondent Casey Hunt is in Minneapolis. MSNBC political reporter Alex Seitwald is in Boston at that Hillary event. And MSNBC anchor Thomas Roberts is in Virginia. Casey, let me start with you there in Minneapolis, where Bernie Sanders again holding a rally that's we understand he's going to be taking the stage in minutes. What's the scene like there?
Hey, Craig. Well, we're waiting for Senator Sanders to come out here in Minnesota, of course. This is his third trip back here in about 4 days, which should tell you that they are focused very heavily on trying to win here in this caucus state, where they believe that they are ahead. It's one of a handful of states they're focused on for Super Tuesday, the others being Massachusetts, where Hillary also is today, Hillary Clinton is today, Vermont, Colorado, Oklahoma. What do they have in common? They're all states with a lower share of minority voters. We, of course, saw that rout in South Carolina with African Americans voting overwhelmingly for Clinton. So this is a very challenging road ahead for Bernie Sanders. Super Tuesday includes a number of states across the South where the minority vote is going to be incredibly important, and these are where the biggest delegate prizes are. So the question is going to be whether or not he can come out the other side of Super Tuesday with an argument to stay afloat in this race. Now, they, of course, say that they are going to be in all the way to the convention. If you look at where they're advertising on TV, it's just these states where they think they might be able to win. Maybe a sign that they're saving up some cash for later in the calendar. They feel like from a demographic perspective, it will get better for them with time. But as each loss goes forward, they risk losing momentum, risk coming under some more pressure to tilt towards Hillary Clinton, to let her run against Donald Trump. And one last quick note, Craig, backstage here at this rally is Jesse Ventura, that former independent governor here, telling the local paper he's trying to decide between Sanders and Trump. Wow. So a little bit of flavor there for you, Craig.
Jesse the Body Ventura. Casey Hunt there in Minneapolis. Casey speaking as we saw a flannel shirt wearing Keith Ellison, I believe, in the background there, introducing us Senator Casey Hunt. A big thanks to you. We may come back to hear the senator in just a bit. Let's look at Alex Seitwald. Alex, of course, in Boston, where Hillary Clinton just ended that rally. We heard some of what she had to say. What else did she have to say, Alex?
Well, Craig, what we're seeing since that big South Carolina her is she's talking less about Bernie Sanders and more about Donald Trump and the rest of the Republicans. You saw it in that little bite that you played. She also riffed on his message of making America great again. She says America is already great. It needs to be made whole again, not mentioning Bernie Sanders' name at all. And we've been seeing that in the last couple of days. It speaks to the confidence that the Clinton campaign now has, not only in those southern states where, after winning huge with African Americans in South Carolina and Nevada, they feel they have a chance to clean sweep the South, but the fact that she's even here in Massachusetts where, as Casey said, this is one of the 5 states that Bernie Sanders is advertising on, one of the 5 states that he's targeting. She's going to Minnesota tomorrow, another state that Bernie Sanders is hoping to do well in. She is on offense. She's going to his states, his territory, and hoping not to just win tomorrow, but win really big. And Sanders, meanwhile, is staying closer to his home territory, to his state, not venturing as much to the states where Hillary Clinton is looking a lot stronger.
Alex says we watch Hillary Clinton there on the streets in Boston. Quick question here. You know, one of the most sought-after endorsements still out there, of course, that of Elizabeth Warren. The flag bearer for the most liberal wing of the Democratic Party. Any sense there whether Elizabeth Warren at this point is going to back either Sanders or Clinton?
Right, Craig. Obviously a huge prize for either of them. Do not expect anytime soon an endorsement from Elizabeth Warren. You know, I think for her, this is really about her constituency, which is divided between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Not a whole lot to gain for her to come down on one side and potentially alienate her own supporters. Also, with the race looking close in Massachusetts, you know, you don't want to pick the wrong candidate and end up looking like you backed the wrong horse, Craig.
All right, Alex Seitz full there for us in Boston. Bernie Sanders is taking the stage right now in Minneapolis. Let's listen in.
The country, and they say, well, you know, climate change is a hoax. It is not real. And it is a very dangerous thing for a nation when you reject science. I will not reject science. And what the scientific community is telling us is that as serious and dangerous as the situation is today, it will only get worse in the coming years if we do not get our act together and transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. As all of you know better than I do, right here in Minnesota, the oil company Enbridge has proposed a series of pipelines to carry oil across the state. The first, as you know, is called Sandpiper, and it would carry 640,000 barrels per day of fracked oil. The second project is a pipeline just like the Keystone Pipeline. Let me tell you, I was one of the leaders in opposition Keystone Pipeline. And this pipeline running through Minnesota is called the Alberta Clipper. And that would bring 800,000 barrels per day of some of the dirtiest oil being excavated in the world. Now, President Obama said that when his administration was reviewing the Keystone Pipeline, that he wouldn't approve it if it made climate and our planet more dangerous. He wouldn't approve that if he could make the point that the emissions from the entire project would add to climate change. Those are exactly the same standards that we need to apply to the Alberta Clipper and the Sandpiper, and that is what I would do as President of the United States of America. The bottom line for me, I've got 4 kids and 7 grandchildren, and our moral responsibility is to make sure that we leave this planet in a way that is healthy and habitable to future generations. The bottom line for me